Hello and welcome to another Sunday Million highlight show. This one's from the 10th of February 2013. 7,848 runners, another massive field. What else would you expect? And they ponied up their $215 to generate a $1.5 $69,600 prize pool. Over $1.5 million. Enormous as ever. And a familiar name at the top of standings as we begin the final table. Kyle Julius, K. Julius 10, who came within a whisker of winning the 2012 PCA main event, and who has won the Sunday Million, looking to become a two-time Sunday Million winner. He actually won it on the 12th of February last year, so almost a year to the day, looking to go back-to-back and with a great chance of doing it. Of course, still a lot of poker between him and a second title, so let's watch some of it. This is hand 10, 150,000, 300,000 blinds, and Ragila from Romania has opened under the gun. He's got about 22 bigs behind. A couple of other good players at this final table. Akzak, with a super short stack, actually bubbled the Sunday Million final table in August last year. He's avoided bubbling it, but he may not go too much further with just under 3 big blinds in this hand. And as you can see, also the worst of it. So needs to get lucky here and then double up another time or two. But this is where it all starts. King Queen doesn't improve on the flop. Nothing for him on the turn. Neither player has a heart, so a king or a queen will still do it for Akzak. 3 of diamonds won't, however. And Ragalia busts him. Akzak is our first to leave, 9th place for the Norwegian, $12,164. He's bubbled it, he's come 9th. Just 8 more Sunday Millions, and he'll be the winner. That's pretty much how it works, I think. Hand number 12. Pissed Colosi, who's been in a couple of big final tables, including a W Coupe, gets out the way. Nobody else has a hand, and Regalia in a very nice spot with Ace-King on the button, where no man ever has a real hand. And the Romanian open raises and looks for some action, and he does get it here from Donig. Donig, who's got a really good tournament CV, finished second in the big 162 and the bigger 162 at the end of last year. Now has a Sunday Million final table, but that may be all he has from this adventure. Unless he can get lucky here. Ace on the flop doesn't help him too much. King on the flop really doesn't help him. This one all but over. And Donig will leave us in 8th. 2 quick eliminations. The German takes home $18,000 and a bit of change for his run through this nearly 8,000 runner field. Hand 26. 7-handed, and the blinds are up, 200,000, 400,000. And Palmu Pill from Estonia has a real hand. Welcome, ladies. Lovely to see them. Couple of junk hands, and then the Ace-King of Idol Ivy. That's Idol, I-D-O-L, not L-E. All his money in the middle in a hurry. Pretty standard stuff here. The classic Queens versus Ace-King race. The Queens, of course, with a decent edge. But it's pretty close, and it's a pretty important pot for these two. Pretty big pot. The winner will be well placed, and the Queen still hold through the flop. But Idol Ivy also has a flush draw to go with the 2 overcards. He is the all-in player, so needs to connect here. And can't get it done. 7 of diamonds confirms that the Queens are going to take this home. Palmu Pill ships it up to 16.3 million. Idol Ivy from Germany out in 7th, $31,392 to him. And in a hurry, we're playing 6-handed. Well, this could be a really fast final table, couldn't it? Quickly down to 6-handed, and now in hand 30. And aces jacks cooler between the chip leader and the second place man. This is pretty nasty for Palmu Pill. Carl Julius, obviously a very aggressive player, and I suspect he'll be four-betting here. And when he does, if you're in Palmy Pill's seat, you would think your jacks were good all day. Tough for him not to get the money in. He's second in chips, but he's only got, what is that, 34, 35 big blinds against an aggressive player. Just a case of whether Carl Julius entertains the idea of slow playing this at all. Probably didn't entertain it for very long. Makes the small 4-bet. And what does Palmy Pill do? He decides to call. Not sure about this call with jacks and this chip stack. It's just, well, that makes it easy, right? It takes a little bit of the analysis out of things. Just flop top set. I was going to say, so many times you put yourself in danger of folding the best hand post flop, because overcards can come and get yourself into all sorts of trouble, all sorts of guesswork. Not much guesswork when you flop top set in a 4-bet pot. So a real cooler for K. Julius 10. Carl Julius, as good players often do, to come to the final table with a huge chip stack, and he can take this hit. Decides to check it over to Palmy Pill. I don't think that's going to stop all of Palmy Pill's stack getting in somehow. I'll see if Carl Julius is going to raise here. No, he's just going to flat call. Can't really see him getting away from it, can you? I mean, obviously, pocket jacks is part of Palmy Pill's range for calling a 4-bet. You could argue whether it should be or not, but players do call with those medium strength to strong pocket pairs. However, I don't think that makes it any more likely that Carl Julius is going to get away with not doubling up his opponent here. And there goes the money. I mean, he's played this really well, Carl Julius. It just so happens that Palmy Pill has top set. Whole bunch of hands he'd be getting in against as a huge favourite. This one, he's a massive underdog. Can still catch an ace, but it doesn't happen. No miracle. And a huge result for Palmy Pill. He jumps to the chip lead. And Carl Julius back in the pack. This is hand 34, same blind level. Short stack Christie 888 with just under 10 big blinds. Not putting it in quite yet. Carl Julius staying active though. Ace 10 suited in the cutoff. And he doubles the big blind. And Piscalozzi will have the decision to make. Looks like a pretty automatic one from here. Yeah, in goes the money with pocket eights. And Carl Julius will have the decision. And he calls. And we'll have another all-in pot. Piscalozzi, the all-in player. Carl Julius in trouble again here, but not so much anymore. Flops, trips. Huge result for him. I mean, crushing to lose those 2 pots back to back, but he's got out of jail here. He wins the flip. And Piscalozzi is the unlucky player. 6th place for the Dutch player, $47,000 and a little bit of change. And he leaves us 5-handed. On we go. Christie 888, the short stack in the big blind here. Must have been playing pretty tight to not double up or be eliminated so far. But getting down to the bare bones now with 6 big blinds. Carl Julius is opened here. Palmy Pill will 3-bet the king-queen. Chip leader versus second in chips. Christie 888 will fold. And these two will go at it again. Carl Julius with the 4-bet, which is always aces, we know from recent history. I mean, this time it's 9 high, but who's to know? Gets Palmy Pill to fold the best hand and chips up a little bit. Those two dominating things at the moment. It may well continue here. Carl Julius picks up the pocket kings, hoping they fare a bit better than his aces. 42 Oscar we haven't heard from yet in this highlight show. The blinds are up to 250, 500,000, and he's got the decision with ace-jack. And what is that? 23 big blinds. Slightly weird spot. Not sure how ecstatic he'd be to get it in here. And he decides not to play it at all. So 42 Oscar folds the ace-jack. Palmy Pill with another tempting opportunity to 3-bet Carl Julius. Interesting situation because they're pretty deep. Carl Julius is 40 big blinds deep, but they're deep in the context of the tournament. Chip leader and second in chips. And perhaps for that reason, as well as the type of hand he has and being in position, he decides to flat call. And Christie 888 finally is able to get his money in with something decent. Ace-queen offsuit. Just under 5 big blinds. And Carl Julius will flat call and invite Palmy Pill on a suicide mission, which of course he's going to take. Great odds on that call with the 5. So 3 ways to the flop, but an all-in player, Christie 888, with 19% of this and needing to win it to stay alive. Well, no change on the flop. Carl Julius with the pocket kings still a mile in front. It goes check-check between the two players with chips left. 2 of clubs on the turn. And Carl Julius will put in a bet here, effectively saying that he's pretty confident he has the best hand. Palmy Pill will get the message. No money to win on the side. So just under 8 million in the main pot, and Christie 888 needs to improve and isn't able to do it. He leaves us in 5th place, and we're 4-handed for the million. Now, I'm sure you'd like a shot at the big money these guys are playing for, and we'd like you to have one on us. A free $215 seat is up for grabs. Follow the instructions on screen, and I'll give you a password later in the show.
He's playing poker!
I've been wandering around this place like a gypsy gnome.
Robert's all in!
Yes!
We are competition everywhere. We are poker.
Welcome back. We're at the Sunday Million final table with these 4 players challenging for the title. Palmy Pill and Carl Julius have been waging their own private little battle, which Palmy Pill's coming out on top of at the moment, thanks to a big cooler hand. But Rag Aila and 42 Oscar are not out of it. 300,000, 600,000 as we get back into the action. This is the 85th hand on the final table. And Palmy Pill's going to stay active from the button. He doubles the big blind with King 4. And we'll see him and Carl Julius will play another hand together. This time we're going to see some post-flop action. Carl Julius flops top pair, bottom pair for Palmy Pill, and backdoor diamonds. Backdoor straight draw if you want to have everything for completeness. 2.9 million in the middle, and as you can see, plenty of chips behind for both of them. Palmy Pill will bet it. And Carl Julius will make the call with top pair. No reason for him to raise in that spot. 9 of hearts pairs the board. Doesn't improve Palmy Pill any. He'll know that his 4s and 9s are ahead of any draws or random weak hands Carl Julius may have floated with or something like that. So not inconceivable, yeah, that he bets here. Obviously pretty unlikely Carl Julius has a 9, so he's only really worried about a queen and bigger pocket pairs than his 4. Carl Julius will flat call again. This pot's getting a little bit bigger now, a bit more important. 11.2 million in the middle. And Jack, well, it completes a lot of stuff, doesn't it? It completes the diamond draw from the flop, completes some straight draws. Actually gives Carl Julius queens and jacks. And Palmy Pill will not turn his hand into a bluff, just checks it back and gets the news that not only has he lost the hand, but he's also lost the chip lead. Carl Julius back on top. Hand 94, same blind level, same chip leader. And Regalia doubles the big blind with ace-6. Starting this hand with around about 16 big blinds. Carl Julius will ask him if he wants to play for all 16. 42 Oscar gets out of the way. Regalia 19 with the decision, makes it quickly, and he'll be all in and has the best of it. Ace high winning the day, but he's the all-in player. Nice flop for him, isn't it? Has the diamond draw and no improvement for Carl Julius. Two of hearts changes nothing, so Regalia just needs to fade the river, and he does get it done, and it's all change at the final table. From 2 dominant chip stacks, we go to 3 very close at the top, and everyone pretty close together. This is really up for grabs now. A lot of action at this 300,000, 600,000 level. More here from hand 97 and pocket 6s for Palmy Pill on the button. And a flat call from Carl Julius with the computer hand, which people used to call Queen 7 suited the computer hand because they didn't have enough to talk about, presumably. Carl Julius makes bottom pair and checks. Palmy Pill will bet. Apparently it's the absolute average hand in Hold'em by some computer simulation that was run in 1983. I have no further information. 5 of spades makes Carl Julius's hand a little bit more attractive. He was already in front. He now has the flush draw. Palmy Pill playing the guessing game with his 6s a bit here. Not great news he was called on that flop. And he will check it back. Just under 6 million in the middle. And Carl Julius is winning this one, providing he doesn't fold. But he's a top professional player. He knows that if you fold, you can't win. I don't think he'll be going in for any of that. Interesting little bet. A really small bet from him. And it actually works as a fantastic little bit of value extraction. He got 900,000 where many men would have got nothing. Carl Julius, the PCA runner-up, up to 24 million. Reminding you, as I told you at the top of the show, he's looking to add a second Sunday Million title to his poker CV, and he won the first one almost a year ago to the day that he's contesting the one we're watching. Variance is a funny old thing, isn't it? Patterns in the madness. Regalia opens from the cutoff and gets 3-bet by Carl Julius, and this is not great for 42 Oscar. Yeah, in goes his stack. Absolutely the right play. He's got an active player 3-betting on the button, and 9's in the cutoff, in the small blind, has to go in. Unfortunately for him, he's running into one of the 5 bigger pocket pairs. Really unlikely to be in this spot, but that's where he finds himself. 42 Oscar from Canada, in serious danger of exiting this tournament in 4th spot. needs some help, some hearts, or a weird straight, or a 9, and he gets his 9. But Carl Julius gets his jack. What a tease that 9 was for 42 Oscar, because that's all he'll have been looking for when the flop came down. The 8 completes both of them's full houses, but it's Carl Julius that takes it. He's your big chip leader with 41 million. 42 Oscar out in 4th. Now, I can tell you these 3 players would do a deal. The money jump's getting pretty big. 42 Oscar going out with $79,000. 6-figure payouts for the remaining 3. And understandably, they would chop a lot of the money, leave some cash for first and the Sunday Million title. And as ever, I'll tell you about their payouts as they leave. Meanwhile, we've got action here. And for the second time in this final table highlight show, Regalia finds Ace-King on the button. And for the second time, he gets action. Carl Julius with the aggressive 3-bet. But not a terribly strong hand. But he will call the min 4-bet here. 9.4 million in the middle. And not much improvement on the flop. Just read that screen name properly. It's Regala 19. I mean, just read it, Nick. They're right there on the screen. I think I covered every possibility for pronouncing it anyway, so we're fine. He's in great shape here with, well, not too much over a pot-sized bet left. And he makes a small bet. Now, Carl Julius is going to take off a card here. Very sort of low price to do so. He's got a lot of backdoor things working for him, and perfectly possible that Regala doesn't actually have too much. And the 3 catapults Carl Julius into the lead. It's tough to win with King 3 suited in 4-bet pots as a general rule, but this may be one of the examples of how to do it. Well, Regala puts the money in, decides there's too much money in the middle to do anything else. Carl Julius has had a specific kind of read on this situation from the start, and that pair is enough for him to continue. Regala will get the bad news that he needs to improve here. Can't get it done on the river. Carl Julius is into the heads up as the chip leader. Regala unlucky to leave us in third. $156,000 and change, softening the blow.
We are 10,000 people in Brazil, holding our breath. We are alone. Hunters. Hunted. We are committed. Blessed. Calm. We are all in. We are poker.
Welcome back. As promised, there's your password. It is Prague. Prague, the online poker show free roll on Valentine's Day at 3:35 Eastern Standard Time. Give your loved one something special. 3 hours of peace and quiet while you win a free roll seat. Carl Julius will take on Parmupil in the heads up, and he'll do it with a 2.5, 3-1 even chip lead, there or thereabouts. Tough running for Parmupil, playing a great player in a heads-up match with a chip deficit, and these two have been at it since the start of this final table. It'll be really fun to watch this heads-up. See if Carl Julius can put this one away and add a second Sunday Million title to his ever-growing poker CV. He starts off with a 3-bet in 124. I'm sure he'd gladly get it in with Ace-Jack suited here. Parmupil with something less exciting. And he's going to flat call, so a little bit under 7 million in the middle. 18 million is the chip stack for Palmy Pill, and nice flop for him. Flops the open-ended straight draw. Not too much improvement for the ace-jack of Julius. And he decides to check it. Well, there's money in the middle. Palmy Pill has an open-ended straight draw, and we're heads up, and he's the short stack. So, wouldn't be surprised to see him bet and go with this hand, no matter what transpires. Julius with ace high makes the call. He's winning right now. 12.5 million in the middle after that check and call, and just the small matter of the nuts on the turn for Palmy Pill. Pretty amazing hand for him, and it's very well disguised as well. He can have an awful lot of hands here that he would call pre-flop and then just try and steal the pot with once Julius has checked. So Julius doesn't have a pair, but he does have ace high. However, he takes the turn aggression seriously, and Palmy Pill can't get paid any more than that. He does close the gap a little bit, though. 50 million plays 28 million. Jump forward a couple of hands. Chip stack's more or less the same. This is hand 130, the final table. 400,000, 800,000 blinds. And King 10 for Palmy Pill, who has the button. Julius 3 bets with the fives. And the flat call from Palmy Pill again in position. This is clearly how he wants to play this heads up. Not totally ridiculous to get the money in there. Julius leads out with pocket fives. Palmy Pill again has flopped good against him with top pair here. Palmy Pill debating, you'd think, between calling and raising. He's decided to raise. With the benefit of being able to see the cards, that might well end things. Not so much. Julius will call. Guess it's a very connected flop. A lot of draws on that flop. And 7 of spades, somewhat connected turn card as well. Palmy Pill can have a lot of hands here, a lot of one-pair hands, drawing hands, pair plus draw type stuff. He's also allowed to bluff in this spot. So hard to play a hand like pocket fives out of position, isn't it? Palmy Pill does make the bet, and Julius can't continue. And as we can see, was a little bit crushed. So things have really turned around here. Almost even chip stacks after the early exchanges in this heads-up battle. Julius raises on the button with 7-4. I hope you're enjoying this one, by the way. It's been really fun to watch these two go at it. Almost the entire final table. We'll see another flop here. This time it's Julius who has position. And Palmy Pill again makes top pair. Well, he's flopping well, heads up, and it's tough to beat anyone who hits flops heads up. Carl Julius trying everything that he knows. However, he won't know this. We can see this. His opponent just keeps on having it. Tough to play against. Continuation bet gets called by Palmy Pill. Ace on the turn doesn't change too much. May well get Julius to continue his aggression, though. We will see 8 million in the middle. Both players with very even chip stacks. And yeah, Julius is going to keep firing. Palmy Pill could have called that flop with an awful lot of hands. Many of them nowhere near as strong as Queen 10. Palmy Pill with a quick call. And the jack pairs the board on the river. Palmy Pill winning this if he doesn't fold. 13.5 million in the middle. Carl Julius with not much. Palmy Pill's having to think about this, and he decides to bet. Interesting decision. It's almost a bit of a blocking bet, isn't it? It's the kind of bet where he doesn't want to face a big river decision. He may see it as a blocking bet. It's possible that he's trying to induce something from Julius, but, well, he has succeeded in inducing something. Carl Julius sees this as weakness, and he's going to attack it, and he gets the fold. Well, what a great piece of play that is from Carl Julius. It's one thing to read a bet a certain way. It's another thing to pull the trigger, especially heads up at the end of the million, and that's what separates players. Great stuff from Carl Julius. Really fun hand to watch, and that's a lesson in the perils of making blocking bets against good players. They will come after you. And Palmy Pill forced to fold the best hand. That was fun. Not for Palmy Pill, but for us watching, I guess. Hand 134, and the money's going to go in here. Palmy Pill getting a little bit short stacked after that one. We're going to flip for it. Carl Julius with the ace-king. He's not all in. Most of the money is, though. Palmy Pill with the fours and the slight edge. This could end it, and great flop for the Estonian. Pocket fours makes a full house. Carl Julius needs to catch the river, or we're going to play again, and Palmy Pill's going to have the chip lead, and that's the way it goes. Some great poker up to this point, but it all comes down to a big flip, as it so often does. And after being pretty much outplayed, you'd have to say, playing some great stuff, Carl Julius outplaying Palmy Pill. Well, it's flipped around in chip stacks. And Carl Julius is going to have to win this all over again. He raises here, and we may have a repeat. Palmy Pill with the pocket pair. Be well within his rights to decide putting the money in works better. And he does have a pocket pair. He is going to get it in and flip for it. Why not? He's not going to be in danger of elimination here. Carl Julius is, as you can see, the king-queen suited actually favourite over the pocket deuces. But it is a flip. We'll see which way it goes. And it looks like it's going Palmy Pill's way. Running cards needed for Carl Julius now. He can still do it. A jack or a spade gets him out of jail. 5 of hearts is a brick. And Palmy Pill, with a couple of big flips at the end, takes down this tournament. He wasn't afraid to mix it with Carl Julius. Got cards when he needed them. And you've got to win your flips. Palmy Pill with a big victory, $170,000 to him and a Sunday Million title. Great stuff for the Estonian. And a big shout out to Carl Julius 10 from Vancouver, who takes the most money and played some great stuff. Really, really fun to watch. Another runners-up for him following his PCA runners-up, but if he keeps binking a couple $100,000, he won't complain too much. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a really fun one to commentate on, and I hope to watch. There'll be another Sunday Million final table this time next week. Until then, for everyone at PokerStars.tv, I'm Nick Wealthall. Take big care.